First of all, I want to thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for bringing me along to come speak to you guys, and I think it's a great honor for me, to speak to you guys. Before I came, I was told that they wanted me to speak on diligence, and what I did was I did a lot of research, on lazy folk and folk that work hard, and then folks that goes beyond what's required. And I found out some cool things like easy though. It's not rocket science. I mean, it's very simple. If you work harder than what's required, it's gonna get noticed. And if you work just the bare minimum, then that's exactly what you're gonna get, the bare minimum. The diligent the diligent hand shall bear rule, while the lazy man he'll be forced to take the job that's left over. And I've learned something on my journey in life. I learned that it's better to be wise than it is to be smart and lazy. You could be wise and not that smart, but if you smart and lazy, you can have the greatest ideas in the world, but you ain't gonna move. You ain't gonna act on nothing. You ain't gonna do anything about it. You're gonna sit there and watch time go by. You'll fool around and apply for a job that you had the idea of creating, but somebody did it before you because you was too lazy to get up and do it. I remember one time I was with my boy Jamar, and I was looking for a camera because I wanted to take pictures of my drawings after I got done with them. So we looking for this digital camera with high megapixel. So we walk into this Target, and when we get into this Target store, what happens was we were looking at all these different cameras, and we looked at this rack and we like, man, this is a good camera. This one is it right here. It was like 15 megapixels, 14 or 15 megapixels. It was a real good camera. It was really like a 200 and something dollar camera. It's like 200 something dollar camera. And when we looked at the capsule under which the camera was, it said $75. But we didn't know it was $75. We really just looked at the camera like, we didn't know it was worth more than $75. We thought, it was what it was. But when we opened it up and they rung it up, they was like, nah, this camera's like $179, almost $200 actually. Yeah, that's what it was. It was $200. And my boy was like, nah. He said, nah, because if you guys put it under this capsule, if you guys put it in this area where it said $75 and it was right here when we got here, y'all gotta sell it to me for $75. And then the dude at the register was like, well, let me call a manager. And my boy said, yeah, call the manager. Because I worked in retail. I worked jobs like this, so I know the rules and I know the law. I know what you have to do. You have to honor this. And I'm on the side looking like, I'm whispering to him like, bro, you serious? You serious or are you just playing? He said, nah, bro, that's what they got to do. This is what it's about right here. They got to do this. Watch. So the manager come and he said, what's the problem? And he said, I don't know which one of your guys did it, but they put this camera under the $75 capsule, and you guys have to sell it to me for this price. The manager said, was this camera over there under that capsule? And the dude was like, yeah. He said, well, you got to sell it to him for this price. Now, my boy being a wise man, he knew that. He knew that, so the wise man bear rule in this situation. Now let's talk about the lazy man. The lazy man in this situation is the dude that's just showing up to work. He clocking in and he clocking out. They asked him to do inventory. They asked him to stack up the merchandise under the capsules, and he just putting everything everywhere. So now he just lost the company like $100 and something. Yeah, it may be small, but it's still a big deal because he was lazy. He was lazy and didn't do his job. He just came in. He just trying to get a paycheck. He ain't really trying to be the manager or nothing. He ain't trying to go high in the company. He just feel like since it's Target, I'm just going to come into work and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to put stuff wherever I want to put it, and then that's that. And I'm trying to tell you, young folk, listen up. If you make up your mind to go to work, don't just work to be an employee. Don't work with your cell phone in your back pocket, texting during your hours, doing your shift. Don't go to work with the attitude that you can't wait to get off. You can't wait to get off before you even go in. And then every other Friday, you the first one in line to get the check. You just getting to work when it's 1 minute before clock in, and you at the clock out station 5 minutes early, waiting on that time to tick. If you gonna show up to work, then do something. Don't just go just to go. If you gonna get dressed to train and work out, and go to the field, work until failure. Don't just go to the field with the expectation, I'm gonna do 5 100s, I'm gonna do 5 50s, I'm gonna do 100 crunches and then 100 push-ups. I'm gonna build up a sweat, I'm gonna wipe my sweat off, I'm gonna drink a Gatorade, I'm gonna feel like I did it, I'm gonna think of these inspirational quotes, and then I'm gonna walk back to my place, and I'm gonna get under the AC and play some video games, and I'm gonna eat McDonald's, and then I'm gonna eat Dairy Queen, and I'm gonna eat Taco Bell. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. If you're gonna get up and work out, if you're gonna get up and get ready to go train, if you're gonna get up to go do it to become a better player, to become a better athlete, mentally and physically, man, you gotta go out there and work until failure. This is what you gotta do. You gotta go out there and you gotta work until failure. And then once you hit failure to the point where you can't move no more, you gotta get back up, try to do a couple of more. You gotta go even harder than that until you can't go no more even after that, to be sure that you failed for the day. You worked until failure. And when you get finished, you know you just got better. You have to know that by the time you finish every workout, you just got better. You gotta make sure you ain't got nothing left in the tank. You gotta make sure you ain't got nothing left in the tank. And then what you gotta do is you gotta be able to repeat that every single day. Every single day. Get your rest, of course, but then you gotta do that every single day. You gotta be sure that you ain't got nothing left, because you don't get better until you go after you ain't got nothing left. You gotta go so hard that you gotta call your friends and hope they got a dolly in their car that they can come put you on their dolly and roll you back to your house. And by the way, them is probably your lazy friends that you asked to come work out with you, but they ain't disciplined enough. They not coming out there. They not doing that. So you got to call them to come pick you up. If they too lazy to work out with you, the least they can do is come pick you up and give you a ride and wheel you home. Don't get tired of going hard. Don't get tired of working. Don't get tired of forcing yourself to get up and be greater than you was yesterday. If today you can't lay down and say you did better today as a person than you did yesterday, then you have failed yourself. You have failed yourself. The results may not be better than they was yesterday, but the effort can be better than it was yesterday. The results don't have to match up to yesterday's results. But today, the effort has to be better than it was yesterday. It has to be better than it was yesterday. You got to be able to go hard. You got to be able to go hard. It don't matter how old you are. It don't matter how young you are. It's people in the crowd right now that's like 50 years old listening to me because you brought your kid here. You 40 years old, you brought your kid here. You 12 years old and you looking at your mom like, should I listen to him or shouldn't I? And both of you looking at each other. The kid is looking at the dad like, this is what I'm going to become. But the dad is looking at the son like, you are who I was. And if I would have got it when I was your age, I probably would be a better person. It don't matter how old you are. It's a good friend of mine. His name is Coach Ford. He's an amazing dude. He's a head coach. And he does the most amazing thing. In the summertime, he waits until the day's heat reaches its peak. And then he goes out. He put on his shorts, he put on his shirt, his jogging shoe. And then he go run around a track, or he'll hit the hills. I'm talking run the hills. I'm talking about a head coach. I'm not talking about a football player getting ready for the combine. I'm not talking about somebody that's getting ready to sign a contract to go play for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not talking about somebody that's about to go play for the New York Yankees. I'm talking about a coach that's about to coach some college kids. A head coach waits until it's blazing hot outside, picks up his equipment, and then he goes and he runs. And one day he was asked, why do you do that, coach? Like, why do you work out so hard? It's too hot out there. He said, because every last one of my players in all of the different states and the areas that they come from. I know it's hot everywhere in the world. I know it's hot everywhere in the world where they are right now. Ain't nobody nowhere where it ain't blazing hot in the summertime. And I want to be able to say when they come back that I've been through that. I worked out. So you can't look at me and say, Coach, I'm dying out here. Because Coach already did it. Coach already put himself through it. Coach already struggled through it. He already been through what you've been through, so that when you come here, he can understand that look in your eye when you don't want to do it. And then he'll look you in your eye and say, you could do it because I did it. I already did this. I did this so that I could feel this moment right here. It's people that did it before you. And they looking down at you like, man, you could do it. You looking at them like you can't do it now though. But they looking at you saying, I ain't got to do it now. I ain't got to do it now. I'm trying to inspire you to do better than what I did. And I did it. And you can't even match that. You can't even match the effort. You can't even match the effort. I mean, this coach goes out and kills himself as if he's getting ready to get a contract, 10, 15 million. He's working like he's about to get 10 or 15 million. Like he just got a signing bonus. And you know what his only bonus is? His only bonus is being able to put himself in the position of the players. So when he's calling the plays as the head coach from the perception of the player. You ain't too old to do it. Coach is out working the players. You ain't too old to do it. You ain't too old. You just lazy. Don't be lazy. Stop being so lazy. Stop being so lazy. You ain't gotta be that lazy. Lazy accomplishes nothing. It accomplishes nothing. Don't be so lazy. Stop being so lazy. You ain't gotta be lazy. You just lazy. If coach could do it, you could do it. Stop being lazy. Lazy accomplishes nothing. You know what lazy will do? Lazy will have you at home chilling, going to pool parties, drinking, smoking with your friends. And then when it's time for you to report back to camp, you out of shape. You talking about 2 a days is going to get me in shape. I ain't got to work that hard right now because I ain't all the way out of shape. You know, I can get back into shape when 2 a days come. And you know what your opponents is doing? Your opponents is over there on the other side eating right, eating healthy. You feel like if you take steroids, then you would do it. You start cheating. That's what lazy do. Lazy will make you start cheating. You start taking steroids and doing the wrong thing. Because it'll give you a quick fix. It'll help you right away. And then in the long run, you dead. You got liver problems. You all bent up. You need a wheelchair. Your kids is pushing you around. And all you got is storage for them, praying that they don't be just like you. Well, I'm praying that my sons be just like me. And then better. Lazy accomplishes nothing.